How's it going, everyone? This is Kyle with KBB Outdoors. This is not a video that I thought I was going to post, but I was thinking about it, and I think now that the hunting season is pretty much over for most of us in New England, if not all of us, I thought it's important that we understand, reiterate why we hunt. I ran into a poacher a couple weeks ago, beginning of December. I was already tagged out, but I was going on a private spot about 4 acres, and went to go check a trail camera, and I hear boom, and it was the last day of the gun season in Massachusetts. And I was like, well, I'm in a town where you can't use a gun or a muzzleloader. So it's a no discharge town, and you need written permission, and the place where the shot came from is a wildlife sanctuary. So that's kind of an issue. I wasn't going to post this video. I was just going to let it kind of go under the rug. But I think it's important to talk about and keep each other accountable in the outdoors industry, because we all do make mistakes. That CJ Alexander buck was just reported to be poached. The Ohio possible almost world record typical was potentially poached, and it's just sad to see some of these deer go to waste. So the story kind of begins from, I was checking my trail camera, heard the shot, and I kind of knew where it came from, and there's no private land that way where people can get access, and there's just a wildlife sanctuary parking lot. It's not even a parking lot, and I went up to basically check, and I look inside the car, and there's a gun case. And normally I'm not super nosy about this stuff, but I hate poaching, and I hate when people don't follow the rules, because I go and I knock a bunch of doors and I get this written permission, and then when someone comes in and they just shoot a deer with a gun in a place where it's like, I was like, maybe they didn't know, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. And part of me was like, I'm gonna wait there until dark, until they come out of the woods, and just have a chat with them just to see if they killed a big deer or if they poached one. But then I was like, well, probably doing that when there's an angry person with a gun. I don't know who they are.
It ain't my fault he ran right in front of my truck.
I just don't want to mess with that. So I called the cops, which I almost never do, and they came, and they're like, well, did you know this, this, and this? And I love cops, and I have a bunch of cop followers on my Instagram and people that I'm friends with. And they were like, just report it to the cops and have them come. Because I normally don't like to report stuff, just because I don't want to be like a male Karen and call the cops on dumb things. So I ended up having them come check it out, and they basically waited there, and then they got my story. And cops unfortunately don't know a lot of the bylaws or the hunting laws, so they have to talk to the Fish and Game, and I'm no police officer by any means, so I don't know all the rhetoric and different things that you have to go through, the paperwork in the reports to file things like these. So I kind of wanted to know what happened, and you'll see me talking to the cops. Alrighty, so I'm waiting behind this guy's car. He definitely poached a deer or shot at one with a gun. It sounded like a rifle. He's got hunting stuff in his truck, so I know it's him. I drove around to try to find his car. All right, the cop is here. We got 2 cops. How's it going?
What's your name, sir?
Kyle, Kyle.
Do you live up here?
No, I just hunt like everywhere. Yeah.
So where were you hunting today?
Well, I wasn't hunting. I'm tagged out. I was checking my trail camera, so I was pulling it out of the woods, and I just hear boom, and I'm like, okay, well, nobody's supposed to be gun hunting first. And I was like, I know there's one other guy that bow hunts next to the property that I hunt. And I was like, it wasn't him, because I know him.
Okay.
And
where were you checking your trail?
over, it's right on this main road. I can show you the permission, because there's a 500-foot rule, so the main way to, oh, it was definitely over here. That's why yeah.
It was just a single shot?
Yep, just a single shot, yeah.
How long ago?
Like, yeah, I think it was like 4 o'clock.
So you hear when you heard it, or
No. I was way over there.
You figured it must have been coming.
Yeah,
from
I knew. I mean, there's like 1,000 acres right here, and it's all conservation land. These people don't let anybody hunt that own like 40 acres. There's like a little field, so it's landlocked. So nobody can. There's no land to be able to hunt. So I knew that it was. No worries. Do you guys mind telling me what happens just for fun? Are you can't do that?
I mean, it's public record.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Appreciate your time. No problem. See ya. The cops aren't going to let me watch the guy get caught, unfortunately. It was the right thing to do. Like I said, I'm not one to point fingers at people or get in people's business. It's just dumb. Like, you're begging for it. And it's the last day of shotgun season, so they 100% knew what they were doing. It wasn't a coincidence. We'll see what happens. I ended up leaving, learning all about this, and then I get a phone call from the fish and game officer the next day, and he was asking me kind of my report, and he's like, well, did you see them shoot? Did you see like the deer that he shot? And he's like, well, we have some evidence of this. They did come out with guns, but the officers let them go because they basically said they weren't on the town land, which there's no other land they can go on. And they can't walk through the wildlife sanctuary. Even if they wanted to go somewhere else, they can't cut through it. So I was like, interesting. And he's like, but it's also fishy because they weren't wearing orange. They put it in their pockets, which I was like, I just started laughing. And the fish and game officer was like, yeah, if it looks blue or smells like BS, and it is BS, it probably is BS. And I was like, yep. Like, they said it got heavy or sweaty, so they put their orange in their pockets, which is just like, what are you trying to hide? And it's the last day of shotgun. You're desperate to fill your tag. I get it. But going to a place where the deer, just like, it's not real hunting because you're going to a sanctuary. They're not deer that are hunted. So of course it's going to be easier. And then you're going to post it online. And I talked to him about that, and he's like, okay, I'll file it. And then I find out that the guy had actually been caught 3 weeks prior using a crossbow in a field at night with his car and his headlights. So he didn't kill anything, but he was trying to. So I'm kind of glad that I did it, because all these other times the person had got off and not ever gotten in trouble. And I'm kind of glad it happened, because I would have kind of regretted it if I didn't, and I knew that something was wrong. So I'm kind of glad I did it, but it just made me think like why it's important to follow the rules, and God gave us these awesome animals for a reason, and we don't want to poach them. And more importantly, if you're bringing out a deer out of a wildlife refuge, it doesn't look good to the public, the people that are non-hunters. It just, there's a reason why things are so strict, and it's because of a lot of the citizens that live in these places. They just don't like hunting, and when they hear reports or stories of people poaching, it just makes it worse. So just do the right thing and follow the rules. Nobody's perfect by any means, and we live and we learn. But when you're a 50-year-old, you should, or whatever his age was, you should know better. And if that's coming from a 23-year-old, that's kind of sad. But like I said, nobody's perfect, and there's always forgiveness. And I hope that people, even with this record deer that was potentially poached in Ohio, that people will understand, like my buddy Christian from Hunter's Advantage, that there's forgiveness through Christ for these mistakes that people make in kind of these scenarios. But hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday, and take care.